Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And let's kickstart taking all of his stock-related queries, or rather not yours, the stock-related queries coming in from our viewers then. And the first one that I have is coming in from Dikshita. She wants to know about a stock that she can look to buy afresh in current market scenario. I believe this sort of a query merits a view coming in from both of our experts, both on the technical side and on the fundamental basis, given the fact that we have seen a sizable correction, and for some of them it could be sizable where the valuations were at an extreme, may have got corrected to a bit reasonable levels. Given the fact, taking the fundamental story in perspective, valuations in perspective, Rajesh, any stock that you think looks good in current market scenario where an investor can put in their money, park their money and forget about it?
Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Shanshi. Good morning, Kunal. As far as putting new money in this market is, I would say there is a buffet spread over. And it's just what you would prefer to have, because number of stocks have got hammered like anything without any fundamental reason for the company as such. Yes, of course there are issues regarding Trump, tariff, and all those things. But as far as company fundamentals are concerned, they are not much of a change. And despite that fact, a lot of companies have seen quite a beating. So in the large cap, if you want, I can give, you can have a look at Reliance Industry, HDFC Bank, Infosys, LIC, maybe ITC, of course. And in the mid cap size, one can have a look at Tata Power, ITC Hotels, APJ Surendra, Jindal Steel and Power. These are some of the names which we can recommend, which we are recommending at this point of time to our clients also. So one can have a look at these. Even in the healthcare space, it's looking very good. Maybe a Narayan Hirdalaya or a Medanta can be a good pick in the mid-cap space, or Apollo Hospital in the large-cap space.
Rajesh, if you look at the way how you've given the stocks, and if you're talking about buffet spread, then looks like you've given the main course dishes, which is a very standard with whichever wedding you go. You get your rice, you get your roti, you get your dal, you get your sabzi. That's sort of a pick you've given when you talk about large caps. What about these starters and these sweet dishes that you get very rarely? No, none of the names that are coming to your mind, which could be a niche pick right now?
Exactly, that's what I said. Na? EPG Surendra Park Hotel, nobody talks about that. ITC Hotel, that's a newly listed company, nobody talks about that. Narayana Health, these are some of the mid-cap names. Maybe Lloyd Metals can be a good pick. Even in pharma, less talked about stock is Blue Jet Healthcare, and that can be having a look. So what I mean to say is there are a whole lot of stocks, hundreds of stocks. It just depends what you can buy.
You can buy mouth-watering valuations for some of them actually, and a lot of names actually I tried to get out of Rajesh, but Kunal, can I try the similar trick on you? You want to kind of separate the main course, the starters, the sweet dish, and also the chart section?
No, I'll stick to the traditional traditional theme, and I'll go with a few names. So I think what we look out for, and especially in this kind of a market, because after every major market correction, like what we've seen the last 6 odd months, is that whenever the markets get back into a stage of revival, you would probably have new set of stocks and sectors which could lead from the front. And with every market correction, especially the last stage of the market correction, there are traces of those stocks which start to look relatively more stronger. These are the stocks which they tend to outperform. So I think in that context, there are few stocks which have been huge underperformers in the last cycle of the last 3-4 years, and these stocks are making a strong comeback. I would like to recommend those names. Some of them, for example, Kotak Bank from the large cap private sector banking name is looking extremely attractive given the way the stock is poised, and especially the last 3-4 years of absolutely flattish to negative kind of returns for the stock. Then you have UPL, a stock which has been down and out over the last many years, falling from 800 levels to almost, I think, 500 sub 500 mark. That's a stock which I believe is looking extremely attractive from a long-term play. Then you have some short-term trades, the likes of Amber Enterprises, Castrol. Even those are the names which I believe could start to look attractive. So I would like to position it in a very short to medium term kind of a manner, especially with relatively strong names.
Kunal playing it very safe, and Kunal, I'm amazed. I actually saw UPL on your list, which means that after how long 2 to 3 years that is looking attractive on the charts, because
Yeah.
that's one stock that you've always stayed wary of.
Yeah. So I think it was just like a phase where ITC was something which we avoided, but then there came a phase when at I think 220, 240 levels, ITC became a lucrative buy. I would probably sense.
Listen, you and Rajesh were screaming from the rooftop.
Yes, exactly. So I would sense that something of similar sort is happening for UPL also on the charts.
All right, so watch out for UPL very closely, and that's your cue, Shreyansi. Next time when you quiz Kunal, you can talk about UPL.
Well, absolutely, and that's a very palatable list of stocks right there in terms of recommendations coming in from Kunal as well. And of course, Kunal, I hope that you don't get a sore throat from this one then in terms of the upside that you're seeing, at least for this one. But tell you what, I'll take a cue from something that you've talked about. You've talked about Kotak Mahindra Bank. The next query that we actually have is coming in from one of the banking stocks. Bala from Coimbatore writing to us about HDFC Bank or any other banking stocks. Rajesh, in fact, I'll take it across to you. What do you think about the banking pack as a whole, HDFC Bank, or any other recommendations that you then have?
See, Shreyanshi, as far as banking is concerned, we have been very bullish because of the way these stocks have got a cut, and one of our best picks in private sector space is HDFC Bank, of course. After the merger with HDFC, it becomes one of the seven largest banks in the world, having a huge AUM. They're doing very good. Deposits are growing, advances are growing. The only thing that they are lagging is at NIMs, and that's a industry-wise problem, I would say. It's not particularly for HDFC Bank. Asset quality is very good. They have been growing very well. It's just a matter of time when the stock starts giving return. And the other one in the large cap space and private space bank would be ICICI Bank. In the mid cap space, we would recommend Federal Bank and Bank of Maharashtra that has been doing very well. If you look at Bank of Maharashtra, quarterly numbers from the last few quarters have been very strong. They have been doing well in all parameters. And at these levels, I think there is at least 20% upside from the current market price for in the next 6 to 9 months. So these are some of the picks in the banking space.